The Weed of the Week is sponsored by the Enlist Weed Control System from Dow AgroSciences, a new herbicide and trait system that will build on glyphosate.
Farming isn't just in the land, it's in you. Take control of weeds like never before. Enlist builds on the Roundup Ready system, combining proven control of a new 2,4-D and glyphosate in Enlist Duo herbicide. Protect what matters without changing the way you farm. Talk to your seed or crop protection supplier today.
Weed for weed, volunteer Roundup Ready corn is actually the worst weed you could possibly get in soybeans. And I know you might say, oh, it's Palmer pigweed, it's kochia, whatever. But what I'm talking about here is if I just had one Palmer pigweed, I had one velvet leaf, I have one lamb's quarters, one kochia, one volunteer corn plant, that volunteer corn plant robs the most yield.
All right, so let's get it under control. In soybeans, we have lots of options. We have a whole bunch of different grass killers post-emerge that can be used. Things like Select
stop.
Max,
No,
Assure,
let's not throw them out. Let's go in order. The very best thing is Fusilade. The next thing is Assure 2, Secure, that family. And then the worst thing is the Select Max, that family. And they work actually quite well. It's just if we're talking 99% control and I need that versus 97% or 96%, well, I mean, that might make a difference to you.
Brian, it's still an A.
I'm just saying, and let's say that we have tougher conditions. Let's say we have drought conditions and the corn's getting taller and I got some of these factors going against me. I'm tank mixing it with two other things. All of a sudden, I have some antagonism and I got all these other issues. Well, that's where the Fusilade might stand out a little bit
Let's
better.
talk about those tough conditions. You need to use an oil, like a crop oil or an MSO, and you also need to use some nitrogen. So you need either ammonium sulfate or liquid 28%, something like that. If you've got an oil and you've got a nitrogen source, that's going to improve the performance of all of those products quite a bit.
Yep, and don't worry so much about, oh, a little Roundup burn. Yeah, you might, let's say you have oil together with your grass killer together with Roundup. It's not a big deal. I know Monsanto says, oh, we want you to use an anionic surfactant. Well, that's fine for crop response, but all you're going to do is speckle the leaves a little bit with that oil in there in terms of crop response. The other side is you are going to get a lot better volunteer corn control with the oil.
All right, let's talk about Liberty real quick. Either it's Liberty Link corn, Liberty Link soybeans. Don't count on them to control volunteer Roundup Ready corn because much of that corn is now stacked with Liberty and Roundup.
And the fact that Liberty just burns a lot of things to the ground and doesn't kill the roots tremendously well. So yeah, Liberty's not the very best volunteer corn killer. Well, that's it for our Weed of the Week, but stay tuned. Iron Talk is coming up next.